Hi, I'm David Fetter, Executive Editor Technical for Prepared Foods, and I want to welcome you all to a Prepared Foods series on technical trends and new product development. I recently asked a number of product developers a set of questions on the crafting of meat, poultry, seafood, and dairy analogs and substitutes that are derived from plant-based or other ingredients. Today, we're taking a few minutes with Susan Guerin. She's president and CEO of World Finer Foods, LLC, and the brand owner of Reese Cutting Vedge, and they are the makers of artichoke-based burgers, meatballs, crumbles, and sausage. Hi, Susan. Thanks for joining us. Of course, the plant-based meat replacement and analog trend has been just explosive, and yet Cutting Edge proves there's still plenty of room for growth and development. And I want to get right to the elephant in the room. Cutting Vedge is made from artichokes. And it's definitely a new wrinkle in the category. So let's start out by having you tell us how the light bulb went off to use artichokes to make meat substitutes.
Great, David. Well, thank you so much for having me here today, and looking forward to talking a little about Cutting Vedge. So with our Reese brand, World Finer Foods is the market leader in artichokes. We're always looking for new and different ways to bring the artichoke to life and share its many benefits, from flavor to hearty texture, and it has natural health benefits like vitamin C and antioxidants. David, did you know that artichokes are a superfood?
They are super tasting food.
There we go. So let's bring more artichokes in an approachable manner and an approachable format to our consumers' plates. We think of Cutting Veg as veggie forward, bringing vegetables to the center of the plate and celebrating veggies and introducing them in consumers' favorite formats like burgers, like meatballs, sausage, and crumbles, but while all the time not imitating meat. So with our culinary expertise, we seek to satisfy the 49% of consumers who want to increase their veggie consumption.
And should. It's at least 5 a day, right?
At least.
So is each item, the burgers, the sausage, the crumbles, meatballs, are each of these composed almost entirely of artichoke? And if so, what parts and formats of artichoke go into the formulation?
So David, what makes us really unique is that our #1 ingredient is artichokes. And we use the heart of the artichoke for a tender and meaty bite. But we also include other non-GMO ingredients, such as chickpeas, spinach, quinoa, herbs, and some pea protein for a protein boost.
Got it.
Each recipe has a unique flavor profile, so it can enhance, many different usage occasions that the consumer might want to prepare in a great family meal. So our home chefs can be creative with Cutting Veg, or some of the less adventurous cooks can whip up a veggie-centered meal in 10 minutes or less.
Okay, so a quick question. Do you use any part of the artichoke stem? And I'm just wondering about that because the stem is lots of good fiber, lots of good inulin, and not the whole stuff, just like that tender spot at the base of the artichoke.
Yeah, so part of, the heart goes kind of down a little bit into the stem. Right. So we do use the meaty part for the texture, but at the bottom, we wouldn't use the bottom part. Of
right, not the woody part, but I was wondering about that just because it's got the prebiotic inulin fiber in there. So, yep. And so you got that in there. No, that's great. So what was the first major technical challenge that you had in creating the burger and your other flagship products? Like how did you decide on ancillary ingredients and techniques to address that challenge as well?
Well, David, transition from our test kitchen to productions is just never an easy thing. Our Cutting Vedge ingredients are all natural, And we were determined in production to not change that at all. So the consistency and the texture of Cutting Vedge was difficult to maintain. And we also don't use gluten or any soy. So our team of culinary experts had to persevere through curating ingredients to deliver on function and taste.
Any specific ancillary ingredients or techniques that you would share with us, or that you'd feel comfortable sharing with us to, get a little closer to that?
Yeah. So, as we were working through, it was all about the preparation, the time, right, and the mixing. And so we keep learning new things. It's, as you know, product development never stops. So we're continuing to work on that.
So, what has navigating the technical and production challenges of all your products taught you about what sets you apart from your competitors?
Right. So, I think it's about having principles and being tenacious about that and about the quality. We always know cost is always an issue, but we're not going to sacrifice on our ingredients. And we're fortunate to be part of World Finer Foods, where we can actually have a little more room to really be strict on that. We have a very short ingredient deck, and we're very transparent. So we've worked with quite a few different producers, contract manufacturers, and it took us some time to find the right partner who can really work with us to have the flexibility to create the product that we really wanted to have.
That's good. Very important to find, the right match in that. I'm glad you guys did. Now, we were talking about the ongoing nature of product development. What aspects of your formulations do you want to build on or improve on for your next round of product releases?
Yeah, so, we've continued to make, as I said, some minor changes to our formulation. So, for example, one thing we did was, instead of buying chickpea flour, we're now freshly grinding our own chickpeas, which makes Cutting Vedge even more natural, less refined, and really improved our texture further. So in this round of innovation, we'll continue to do refinements, and they may be small things, but it'll be just a constant improvement for these formats.
Yeah, good. That's how to keep it how to keep it real. So, yeah. Now, so you talked about essentially cutting out an ingredient supplier as far as chickpea flour goes. Have you reached out to ingredient companies for technical expertise or other input, including new ingredients or that kind of thing? But technique or ingredients.
Yeah, so David, we actually did. We worked with one of the major suppliers to help with the texture issues, and that was one of the biggest challenges. And it was really an important component for Cutting Vedge, which allowed us to use the artichokes in a very creative way. And again, with artichokes as our number one ingredient, that was one of the most critical elements of this. And I think this differs dramatically from many of the plant-based options out there, because they're using soy and wheat to achieve that texture, where we weren't doing that. So we really needed that expertise to help us do that. And it took quite a few rounds of innovation to get there.
Got it. Are you guys, I didn't ask this when I was researching your products, are you guys, I don't want to say allergen free, because I know that, if you're using pea protein, there's always the one person in a million who's, allergic to even the least allergenic. But did you have allergens in mind? Because you were talking about soy and wheat. Did you have that kind of thing in mind as you were building the product?
Yeah, so for us, obviously, we wanted to be free from pretty much everything. We're free from soy, free from gluten, free from that. So yeah, that was a key start point for us, was that we wanted to continue that. So we wanted everyone to be able to eat this. So I think we're about as free from as you can get from I guess there's the 3 major allergens or 8 major allergens, depending on how you want to look at it. So we're really free from all of those major allergens. And so hopefully anyone can eat this. Now, if you're allergic to artichokes, which is quite unusual, that would be one issue, but I don't think we see that very often.
So what would you like to see ingredient companies do more of or better to help you with future product development?
Well, I think, today, most of the key source of protein is from peas, right? As we know, that's one of the bigger proteins. And I do think that we'll see, and hopefully I'm excited to see, that what the next thing will be with even better nutritional value and better texture from pea protein. So I'm hoping that those companies really focus in that area and come up with some new ones that we don't have supply chain issues with, and that really even deliver better benefits to the consumer.
Yeah, are you having supply chain issues with pea protein? Just curious.
We aren't, but I do hear about it. Yeah, we hear about it, but we're good. And I think one of the things I can say about World Finer Foods in total is that our customers tell us that we probably have the best service levels in the industry today overall for all of our products. So we're in a good shape, but I do hear that there have been issues happening.
And in fairness to suppliers, there are supply chain issues across the planet right now with everything. I've been hearing that murmur from everyone I've interviewed and everyone I've spoken to that it's just like these little if you will, islands of supply chain barrier popping up just here and there, and sometimes in the weirdest places and ingredients you wouldn't expect. So I get that, but no, it's interesting. And of course, on the flip side, there are new sources of protein being developed, every day. So it's interesting to keep an eye out on what's coming down the pipeline. And speaking of what's coming down the pipeline, what can we look forward to from Cutting Veg in the coming year or years, that you want to share?
Well, so what I can say is World Finer Foods and Reese are the veggie experts. We're great at veggies. And so we're spending a lot of time in the kitchen to create the next product range for Cutting Veg, but also for Reese. So how I think about it is, while Reese owns the veggies, Cutting Veg owns the meal. And so veggies are always going to be at the center of our plate, and we're never going to compromise on quality, taste, and clean and natural ingredients. It's what we stand for and what we're going to live by. So you can expect more on that veggie space from both Cutting Veg and from Reese.
Okay, so it's entirely possible that we could start seeing lines of burgers, sausages, crumbles, and meatballs derived from different vegetables and unique vegetables maybe in the future. Possible.
Absolutely, or different formats to really, we've got the center of the plate, but there's so many meal occasions for the consumer. So we want to make sure we're there for their meal occasions and helping them really get veggies in just a great, healthy, fun format. This past weekend, we worked with a retail. We had a huge consumer event where our team was down cooking for thousands of consumers, and the feedback was incredible. So we're really looking forward to the consumers enjoying our products.
Great. So, listen, thank you so much for sharing your story. It was wonderful to have that inside look at how these unique products were born. I want to thank our audience members. Thank you for joining us. I hope you found this insider's view as fun and as informative as I did. Be sure to check out our media menu at preparedfoods.com for other episodes of this series, as well as just many more videos, podcasts, articles, and resources of value to help today's food and beverage makers. Thank you. See you all next time.